Now, British lawmakers have voted to decriminalise abortion in England and Wales. The Parliament approving an amendment to a broader crime bill that would prevent women from being criminally punished under a law deemed outdated. The change after a Labour Party lawmaker pushed for that change, saying it was needed because police have investigated more than 100 women for suspected illegal abortions over the past 5 years, including some who suffered natural miscarriages and stillbirths as well. Well, let's hear first from one of the lawmakers and a campaigner as well.
Originally passed by an all-male parliament, elected by men alone, this Victorian law is increasingly used against vulnerable women and girls. Since 2020, more than 100 women have been criminally investigated. 6 have faced court and 1 has been sent to prison.
This is something that we've been campaigning for many years. You know, this vote today will put an end to the horrendous police investigations many women in this country have been undergoing in recent years for suspected illegal abortions.
Well, let's cross then to London. We're going to talk to our correspondent Benedict Pavio, who joins us from there. Benedict, tell us then about that decision and how the vote went, as it were, in the House of Commons last night.
Well, this is clearly a historic vote. MPs have voted to change the abortion legislation to stop women in England and Wales being prosecuted, as you were indicating, for ending their pregnancy. And there's no doubt that this is a landslide vote to decriminalise in 2025, the procedure. So it's the biggest change to abortion laws in England and Wales for nearly 60 years. Now, we just saw Labour MP Tonia Antoniazzi there, who is the one who put forward this amendment to the Crime and Policing Bill. Although, of course, there was a heated debate and there are very, strongly held views, it has to be said that it was very easily passed with a very big majority of 242. Now, it's important to underline this is an issue of conscience, so it was a free vote. MPs were not told how to vote by their parties and were allowed to vote very much according to their personal beliefs. But concretely, what this means is that women now in England and Wales who terminate their pregnancy outside the rules, for example, after 24 weeks, will no longer be at risk of being investigated by police. However, the law still penalises anyone who assists a woman, including medical professionals, in getting an abortion outside the current legal framework. So, of course, there will be some sort of concerns there. Now, setting out her arguments, that MP underlined that nearly 99% of abortions happen before a pregnancy reaches 20 weeks, and that only, what she said, 1% of women were left in what she called desperate circumstances.
So, Benedict, I gather, or I assume, there must be a lot of reaction to this today.
Yeah, and there were protests outside Parliament, which, of course, one would expect. But there was clearly a very big majority in Parliament. I think the feeling is that this came a bit out of nowhere, and that there needs to be also a more time devoted in Parliament to really looking at these issues around abortion. And when you look at, although the many organisations that supported this change and this stop of prosecution of women here, you've got 50 medical, legal and public health organisations, including the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, who say, quote, "This is a victory for women and for their essential reproductive rights," and they say it reflects the views of the public. On the other hand, you have the Society for the Protection of Unborn Children saying they are horrified by this vote. They say that, now when it becomes law, a woman who aborts her baby at any point in pregnancy, even moments before birth, would not be committing a criminal offence. And critical MPs say the change will, in fact, increase the number of abortions, backstreet and dangerous terminations, and will pave the way for sex-selective abortions. So clearly strongly held views, and this still has to go through the House of Commons and the House of Lords, but it is expected to be voted through.